Hey guys, how are you? It's Andrew. And, boys, I hate to admit it, but my nerves are shot. I'm going fishing on that boat tomorrow. Been talking about it for a while. I have done it in the past. Right, you may remember, look at the climb jacket, right? Remember the, what do they call it? Climb crab. Real good friend of mine owns that boat, a fellow by the name of Wade Bolt. Been on the water with him on a number of occasions, but tomorrow we're fishing for real. All right? This is what we call a pregnant 39. She can go a long ways offshore. She can handle all sorts of different weather, and let's not kid ourselves. The forecast is pretty crazy for the next couple of days. Northeast winds, which Newfoundlanders hate to see, although I have to admit my little brother is actually talking about how much he's looking forward to the bad weather. Let's not kid ourselves. His motives, his incentive is a little different. He figures if we can get enough bad weather, it'll make the Newfoundlanders want to leave so bad that they'll actually start letting people come visit. Oh, the bag is going to fall here now. Kind of ruin your video production, Andrew. So much for one take. No, I think we might be able to save this. The point that I want to make, guys, is that, look, I have had an extraordinary week. I've had an extraordinary couple of years. Right, my time that I've spent on this boat and with this crew, I love everything about fishing. Everything so far. I often wonder how it is that fishing can get such a bad rap. Right, I mean, fishermen enjoy such an incredible freedom. Right, there's such there's such a wealth that's associated with fishing. And let's not kid ourselves, guys. There's 1,000 ways. Our grandfather used to remind us all the time, there's 1,000 ways to measure wealth. Whether that be the freedom, whether that be the fresh air, there's so many things to be said about fishing. I love it. I love everything about the experience so far. Right? And maybe this is where it comes into play, because we've always been sold such a bill of goods on the fishery. We've been told how hard it is, how difficult it is. Right? It's the last thing on earth that you want to be at. I mean, we have been sold that my entire lifetime. That's what we've been sold. And what I'm starting to wonder right now, and what I'm starting to realize right now, is that it's not that fishing is so hard or so terrible. I mean, it is, there's no doubt about it. But if you don't have the aptitude for it, right, and let's not kid ourselves, that's what I'm most concerned about. Can you imagine if I get sick out there tomorrow? Oh man, I mean, Coast Guard's not going to come get you because you're crying, right? They're not. If you don't have the aptitude to fish, if you don't have the aptitude for the water, if you don't have the aptitude for hard work, right, then it's probably going to be a pretty miserable existence. And when you recognize and realize that for many years in Newfoundland, it's only really in the past couple of generations, the only thing we had to do here was fish. That was your only option, right? That's what we did. There was no industry, there was no agriculture. You've heard me talk about this on a number of occasions, right? The cleanest, greenest place on the planet. It's for good reason. Right? The only opportunity that we had, the only job they had was to fish, and if you didn't have the aptitude for it, you could be pretty certain it was a miserable existence. And as a result, I suspect there were a lot of people that gave some pretty bad reports about fishing. And as a result, it got such a bad rap. I'm hoping this is going to work out, guys. I've loved everything about it so far. And let's not kid ourselves. You know, it's not an industry that anybody's actually going to jump into these days, because it is a fairly closed circuit. We'll say it's very tightly held these days. It's like any of the I guess the quotas that you'll see on so many other industries within Canada. Not the point right now. What I'm just going to hope to do is to get out there, to enjoy myself, and to be able to share with you some of the experiences that really what it is that made Newfoundlanders, and hopefully what will carry us into the future. Let's see where we end up in this post-pandemic world. Thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate your time.